You're not lazy, you're just mentally exhausted. You wake up tired, even after sleeping 8 hours. You sit down to work, open your laptop, and within seconds your mind drifts. You check your phone, scroll aimlessly, tell yourself you'll start in 5 minutes, and suddenly the entire day is gone. And the worst part? That voice in your head whispers the same thing over and over again. You're just lazy. But what if that's not true? What if the real problem isn't laziness, but something far more invisible, more dangerous, and completely misunderstood? Because here's the truth, no one tells you. Most people who think they're lazy are actually mentally exhausted, not physically tired, not sleepy, but mentally drained to the point where even the smallest task feels overwhelming. And the scary part is, it doesn't feel like exhaustion. It feels like failure. You start blaming yourself. You think you lack discipline. You compare yourself to others who seem productive, focused, and unstoppable. You watch motivation videos, you plan your comeback, you promise that tomorrow will be different, but tomorrow comes and nothing changes. Not because you're weak, but because you're trying to fix the wrong problem. Let's slow this down for a second. Think about your day. From the moment you wake up, your brain is under attack. Notifications, messages, social media, news, endless decisions, endless comparisons, endless noise. You don't even realize it, but your mind never gets a break. Every scroll, every notification, every piece of information, it all drains something called your cognitive energy. And unlike physical energy, you can't see it. You just feel the consequences. You feel it when you can't focus. You feel it when simple tasks feel heavy. You feel it when even things you once enjoyed start to feel like work. That's not laziness, that's overload, and here's where it gets deeper. Your brain wasn't designed for this world. It wasn't built to process hundreds of pieces of information every hour. It wasn't built to constantly switch between tasks, apps, and thoughts. So what happens? It protects itself. It slows you down. It resists effort. It pushes you toward easy dopamine, scrolling, watching, escaping, not because you're weak, but because your brain is trying to survive. And this is where most people get stuck. They fight themselves. They force discipline when their brain is already exhausted. They try to push harder, but the harder they push, the more resistance they feel. It's like trying to run on a broken leg. No matter how motivated you are, you're not going anywhere until you heal. And that's the shift you need to understand. You don't need more motivation. You need recovery. Let me show you something. Imagine your mind as a battery. Every decision, every distraction, every emotional stress drains it. Now imagine trying to function at your best when your battery is constantly at 10%. That's how most people are living, and they don't even realize it. They think they need to hustle more, grind more, push more, when in reality, they need to recharge. But here's the twist. The things you think are helping you relax are actually making it worse. Scrolling social media isn't rest. Watching random videos for hours isn't recovery. Even lying in bed with your phone isn't real relaxation. Your brain is still processing, still consuming, still working. Real recovery feels different. It feels quiet, it feels slow, and for most people, it feels uncomfortable because we've become addicted to noise. We've trained our minds to need constant stimulation, and the moment things get quiet, we reach for distraction. But that constant stimulation is exactly what's draining you. So if you want to fix this, you need to do something different. Not harder, different. The first step is brutally simple, but incredibly powerful. You need to create space, not a full day, not a retreat, just small moments where your brain is allowed to breathe. No phone, no music, no input, just silence. Even 5 minutes of doing nothing can feel uncomfortable at first. Your mind will race. You'll feel restless. You'll want to grab your phone, but if you stay with it, something shifts. Your thoughts slow down. Your breathing settles. Your mind begins to reset. This is something most people never experience anymore, and it's exactly what you've been missing. The second step is understanding your limits. You are not supposed to be productive for 10 hours straight. That's a myth. Your brain works in cycles. It can focus deeply for short periods, and then it needs rest. If you ignore that, it shuts down. That's when you start procrastinating. That's when you lose focus. That's when everything feels heavy. So instead of forcing long hours, try this. Work in short, focused bursts. 45 minutes of real focus, followed by real rest. Not scrolling, not distractions. Actual rest. You'll be surprised how much more you get done with less effort. Now here's where it gets uncomfortable, because there's something else draining you and you might not want to hear it. It's the constant pressure you put on yourself, the feeling that you're behind, the belief that you should be doing more, the comparison to others who seem ahead. That mental pressure is exhausting. It's like carrying a weight all day, every day, and even when you're not working, it's still there. You're resting, but you feel guilty. You're relaxing, but your mind is racing. That's not rest. That's mental stress, and it drains you faster than anything else. So you need to let go of something, not your goals, not your ambition, but the constant pressure to be perfect. You don't need to fix your entire life today. You just need to take one step. One small action. That's it. Because momentum doesn't come from thinking. It comes from doing. And here's the surprising part. When you're mentally drained, small actions are powerful. Not big goals, not massive changes. Small, simple, doable actions. Clean your desk, go for a short walk, write one paragraph, start one task, and then stop. Because the goal isn't to push yourself to exhaustion. The goal is to rebuild trust with your mind, to show yourself that you can move forward without forcing it. And over time, that changes everything. You start feeling lighter, tasks feel easier, focus comes back. Not because you became more disciplined, but because you stopped fighting your own brain. Now let's talk about something most people ignore. Sleep isn't just about hours. You can sleep 8 hours and still wake up exhausted, because mental fatigue doesn't disappear overnight. If your mind is overloaded, it carries that weight into the next day. So, instead of just focusing on sleep, focus on what you do before sleep. Reduce input, slow down, give your brain time to disconnect. Even 30 minutes without screens before bed can make a difference. It signals to your brain that it's safe to rest, and over time, your energy starts to return. But here's the truth most people won't accept. This isn't a quick fix. You didn't become mentally drained overnight, and you won't recover overnight. But every small change you make adds up. Every moment of silence, every break you take, every time you choose focus over distraction, you're rebuilding your energy, you're resetting your mind. And slowly, that feeling of laziness starts to disappear, not because you forced it away, but because you understood it, because you listened to your mind instead of fighting it. So the next time you feel stuck, don't call yourself lazy. Pause. Ask yourself a different question. Am I tired or am I mentally drained? Because the answer changes everything. And maybe, just maybe, you don't need to become someone new. You just need to recover who you used to be, before the noise, before the pressure, before the constant overload. That version of you is still there. Not lazy, not broken, just exhausted. And once you start taking care of your mind, instead of attacking it, you'll realize something powerful. You were never lazy to begin with. You were just tired in a way no one ever explained. And now that you understand it, you can finally fix it.